He's
Okay.
heavy armor and two-handed mace with strike. He's got burly, and his special rule is "Come here, maggot." Um,
Why did you say that so politely? Come here, maggot. Good
Please
sir.
come here, maggot.
that's how I imagine him saying it. He's very worried about workplace.
I say, you. Would you mind coming over here, maggot? Good morning, welcome to the Hobby Breakfast Show. We're back once again, another month, another tier list. I'm joined, as always, by Onod and Mayor.
Hello, I'm Mayor.
And I'm OT.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, good. And we're going to be looking at the Evil Heroes of Fortitude. We've had to torpedo our original plan, which was to just do a tier list of all Heroes of Fortitude, because there are so many good Heroes of Fortitude. Because of Thorin's company, it turns out that we have had to split them up. But it just means that we get more content out of it. So I see it as a win-win for everyone, really. It's a win-win-win. There you go. Right. Shall we quickly get hobby done? Because I suspect that there won't be too much to talk about. And then we can get into the meat and potatoes of shitting all over the Evil Heroes of Fortitude and how much we hate them all.
There are some gems.
There are a few diamonds in the rough, aren't there?
I'm looking at you, Wineskin.
There we go. May, you can kick us off. What have you been up to hobby-wise this month?
Well, by the time this video goes out, I will have painted at least 20 Soviet infantry for my bolt action. So here they are. Here's a picture. If there's no picture, then I'm a big fat liar.
Wow, they look so good.
I know, right? I tried my best to paint 1,000 points of bolt action for a tournament that I went to this month, and unfortunately didn't get it all painted, but that didn't matter because the tournament didn't require fully painted miniatures, which was fortunate for me. And I basically painted them all up to halfway, essentially. Not like half of their model, but just half the model is covered in paint. So I'll do 20 of them to get my 20 average a month that I was aiming for at the beginning of the year. So hopefully they will be done.
How do you find tournaments where you don't have to bring a painted army? Because I've only ever been to ones where everyone's army is painted. Is it like a different vibe almost because people are turning up without painted armies, or is it more or less the same?
I think it was more to allow. I won't call myself a newbie because I've been playing long enough to have painted my army, but it's to allow newer players to play without having to paint their army. So if you were just getting into the hobby, they didn't want to exclude you. I would say I was one of maybe 2 people who didn't have a fully painted army. So most people already had, and it was in Cheltenham, and there was a broad spectrum of people who had come with very fluffy lists that were just cool and very competitive lists, and everything in between. So it was a really fun day. I wouldn't say the painting rule attracted any particular types of players, if that's what you're asking.
Fair enough. I will go through what I painted this month. A real random mix of stuff. So I painted an Achilles model, which is pretty cool. I painted lots of little 6mm US cavalry from the 19th century. Lots of them. I painted a Death Guard kill team with just some random shit I had lying about. I think I got these for like a conversion a long time ago, and then I sort of was going through shit trying to compact my storage of old sprues and shit. And I was just like, screw it.
You've got so much random shit, haven't you?
I know. Some of them have like the wrong head, and then eagle-eyed viewers might be able to notice that 2 of the plague zombies are in fact not actually plague zombies, but you know, details.
Disgusting.
There we go. And finally, so to keep this hobby section loosely themed around the channel, I painted 8 Warriors of Rohan. I forgot what they were called for a second there. These are very, very old miniatures that I've had for like literally over 10 years and have only just painted.
Crikey. Do you have any miniatures left? It feels like you're just like opening drawers and you're just
Yeah.
finding random miniatures to paint.
I have so many left.
Humble brag.
It really is. It's like a fucking sea of just shit.
Random plastic that you left over from previous projects that you couldn't be bothered to paint the first time round.
Pretty much. I'm trying to buy less new shit this year, he says. We'll see how long that lasts for. But yeah, I feel like I am currently just about painting more
than you're buying.
Than I'm buying, which is
healthy.
The ideal place to be, I guess. Yeah. I did find that Teenage Me was slightly less meticulous with things like mold line removal.
And you remove mold lines?
And gluing the shields the right way up and stuff like that. So older me, who is very particular about removing mold lines, found it quite annoying painting models with the mold line still on.
Oh, right.
And having a Rohan shield that's upside down. But, you know, he grabbed it in a hurry.
Yeah, he had better things to do, unlike older you, who doesn't.
Yes, that's how it works, I think. Anyway, yeah, I'll talk more about my second Rohan project next month when I suspect that it will be more complete. OT, what did you paint this month?
Nothing.
Hooray!
Really? Actually, nothing.
No, not painted a thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think I'll paint anything next month or probably the month after. I like.
Is that mainly because of your housing situation, or? Yeah,
I think. So I won't go fully into my housing situation, but essentially,
where do you live?
Dox yourself loud.
I'll give generality. I've recently moved to London, and I have a lot less space than I used to. So essentially, for every miniature I buy now, another miniature has to go back to my parents' house. So it really disincentivized me from getting new miniatures. Saying that, I have ordered Ahsoka.
He's still buying them.
I'm still buying them. I have ordered Ahsoka and some Rebel veterans, which is the last stuff I need, and then I'll kind of be done with Rebels. So that might come next month, but it's only like 7 models. I'm not painting any SBG stuff. I know maybe I sound a bit bitter.
Are you gonna go on your I'm not feeling MESBG?
Yeah. I won't go into it, but essentially, yeah, I'm a little over the hill with SBG, I think, if I'm being completely honest.
I think that's fair.
I'm still very much inside the hill with
it is Hobbit hole.
In my Hobbit hole.
With your mountain.
I don't leave the hill.
No.
But I don't want to know what's inside. So we're going to be going be ranking them from legendary down to whiff. Go watch one of our other tier lists if you want to know what those mean. Probably one of the earlier videos where we explain it properly.
Or just go and watch one of the videos,
just go watch all of them, the whole back catalog.
For any particular reason.
Give them a like while you're there. Shagrat. I mean, he's good.
Yeah,
he's legendary, I think.
He's got a nice shield bash ability.
He's so good for Mordor.
He's got some cheeky might points. I feel like I'm happy to put him legendary. I mean, looking at a lot of the heroes, I feel like
Fortitude is.
He might end up being the only one in there, to be honest.
No,
there might be a couple more.
No, that'll be.
So I think I'm going to really struggle with the orc names this episode. Gorebag ?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gorebag. There you go.
He's not great, is he? He's okay.
Fine. He's fine.
He's 3 might.
He can go up to 3 attacks, fight 5 if he's outnumbered. So if you charge him into 2 models, he's fight 5 with 3 attacks, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
And he is only 60 points with a shield, and he does have strike.
I feel like it is quite easy to make sure he isn't outnumbered potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he's very much just a chaff killer rather than actually something that's going to go after big heroes. And I think for that role, he's fine. He's relatively cheap. I don't know. I'd put him low end of fantastic. in this Fortitude area.
Yeah. We'll doing fantastic, and we'll see how it goes. Kardush, the flame orc.
He's pretty good. You see him taking a lot in tournament lists.
He's got interesting interactions with Ring Race, which is neat.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably he's probably slightly better than a regular shaman.
Yeah. I think he's going to get chucked in fantastic as well.
Yeah, I think he's above Gorbag.
Oh,
do you disagree? Go on, give me your hot take.
I'm not sure like how. Obviously, he's got Fury and stuff, which actually maybe if you have lots of orcs, I think maybe Kardush is more like consistently good and like might actually just offer more value over the course of a game. Whereas like I don't know, Gorbag could occasionally just tear through quite a few dudes, but he might also roll like shit and then die. Whereas like obviously you don't really want Kardush in combat, so yeah, maybe he's above him.
You used to really rate Kardush at one point. You got him that Mordor army. Yeah,
and then I used him twice and didn't like him, so therefore he's
bad. That sounds about most of your armies, to be fair. he does have Fury though, which is quite nice.
Yeah, Fury's nice. Yeah, that's true.
I feel like.
Yeah, no, I think he deserves to be fantastic.
He's slotting in there. The old Ring Wraith, the unnamed basic boy Ring Wraith. I mean, in some lists, very good. In other lists, good.
Yeah. What context is this?
I guess it's any context you want it to be.
Well, if it's Black Riders, then it's legendary. If it's Mordor, then it's whiff.
Whoa!
I wouldn't go that way. I wouldn't.
No,
go that
you know
way.
what I mean though. He's further down. So
look at some of the other fuckers in.
Yeah. Are we going to have to put him sort of mid-range?
I think that we have to put him right at the top. I think you just go Black Riders. He's pretty good, and he's fine. He's fine in Mordor. The only reason why he's not good in Mordor is because the Witch King exists, right? And you just always
below Shaggers, right?
I think below Shaggers. Cool. That's fine. Grishnak, yes.
In the context of Isengard, which I believe is the only way you can take him, I'm assuming.
No, you can take him in a regular Mordor list.
Can you?
Yeah.
I've never seen that happen.
Let me find his statistics.
Snagger is the one that's in Isengard.
He's got Strike and he's got 3 Might. That's basically, and he's got a backstabbing rule.
He does,
I believe. So if so he's okay in Isengard but you're only taking him in Isengard if you're using Uglug Scouts, in which case he's basically an auto include. In vanilla Mordor, you're probably not seeing him very much. So I'd say overall he's like high average.
In the middle, he's middling.
I'd say he's solid. I don't think he's as low as average.
I think he's solid.
Yeah.
Now, a truly shit character is Snagger.
Yeah, he's a whiff for me.
He has the one gimmick where he doesn't have to take part in another.
It's so pointless. Oh, I can't. It's like really scraping the barrel of like hero abilities, isn't it? It just does nothing. Everyone I've talked to about it is like, yep. There are some niche moments where it might help, but I don't think it's ever going to clutch you a win. It's never gonna make such a big difference that
I can think of scenarios where it could clutch you a win, but I
mean,
they're quite few and far between.
If he's caught in another hero's throat move and he wants to move away to an objective, that's basically the only scenario I can think of.
Well, I think there's also a case where you might leave Snagger deliberately behind to block somebody so that you can go and hop onto an objective and they can't follow. But again, this is like
big hero, do you?
This is very niche scenarios where I wouldn't describe.
It's cool that he exists. I like that he exists. I hate that his rules shit.
He's whiff. He's whiff.
Yeah, I think high whiff, but whiff.
Yeah,
I think there are more options.
One of the Goblin Kings,
Groblog.
That's the one. I'm really not good with the evil characters. They're just all the same. Groblog, he has a funky...
He does.
He does parkour. Parkour.
Do you want me to read out his rule, or are we just happy with that?
Yeah. Read out his rule.
Okay. At the start of each fight phase, before heroic actions are declared, roll a d6. On a 4+, all friendly Moria Goblin models within 3 inches of Groblog gain +1 fight until the end phase of the turn. That includes him. So
it's quite useful.
I think he's up there, isn't he?
And he's 3 light with
Moria
fight.
Goblins only fight 2 to begin with, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are only upping them to a shit fight.
But this does apply to Prowlers, who would then go to fight.
Yeah, true. I guess does it apply to hero models?
Yeah, it's all Moria Goblins, so it work on Durbers as well.
So yeah, it's probably not dreadful.
And he is D6, Strength 4, and most of the time, well, not most of the time, but half the time he's going to be Fight 4 base. Like, for 50 points, I think he's pretty solid.
Yeah, 50 points. He's decent, isn't he?
Yeah.
Top end of solid or bottom end of fantastic, I think.
Or middle of solid for me.
Okay.
Let's put him top of solid, because I wouldn't be able to decide between what AT said.
I'm not sure he's quite fantastic material.
Drozag the Beast Caller.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, in what is it? The Legion that everyone takes.
I can't remember.
Lothlorien.
In that, he's fantastic. I think based on the heroes we've got him fantastic. I think he's in fantastic.
Yeah.
He's just super cool as well. Like, it's just a cool idea. I think it's cool. Yeah. He's a good model.
I think middling fantastic.
Yeah, I think
I'm putting him above Kardash for the moment.
Okay.
We'll see if anyone actually makes it above him.
Yeah.
Is this a Black Shield Shaman?
No, this is Ashrak.
Oh yeah, the arachnid
Spider boy.
dude.
Do you want me to read his rules, or should I not bother?
Yes. He gives them poisons, doesn't he?
He's Fight 2, Strength 3, D4, 2 wounds, 4, Courage 4. He's Might 1, Will 4, Fate 1. He's got Armor and a Staff. He has Channeling. So any model that is wounded by Ashrak, roll a D6, and on a 4+, they suffer the effect of Paralyze with 1 attack at Strength 3. That might be a bit of an ass.
I mean, I was going to say.
Giant spiders count as venom backed.
Is that only in his warband?
In his warband, as if they were part of the same army list. So
you can only take them in his warband. They're not part of Moria regularly.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So they gain the venom special rule, and only spider models can benefit from his stand fast. And only Ashrak can only target spiders with his Shroud of Shadows magical power, and he has Fury Spider and Shroud of Shadows.
I mean, I don't see him used much, but he sounds pretty cool.
He is 55 points, and he's pretty flimsy.
He gives you spider access, which is potentially useful. He's in the Legendary Legion that no one takes, isn't he? Is
it something of the North? I can't remember what it's called. Hang on.
Something like that.
I've got the book.
The one where you can take all of the beasts and the orc warbands. I'm pretty sure he's in that one.
Isn't that? I'm sure that has done really well recently. I thought
there's been some niche cases where people have taken it and it's done all right. I can't think of a GBHL recently that it's done well in. I mean, all lists eventually end up doing well.
Monkeys and a typewriter.
Yeah, I think it's probably average.
Yeah, I feel like he's an average for me. People might disagree and be like, "Oh, the spiders are really clutch," but I feel like I'd rather do other things in a Moria list myself.
We'll go average.
He's not in Fell Beings of Mirkwood, if that's the one you're thinking
of.
No,
okay. No. I've misremembered that then.
No.
Is he in Assault on Lothlorien?
I really hope not. Yes, he is.
Oh, shit. Maybe he's better then.
What, because he could be taken?
Well, no, because don't you get a buff in Assault on Lothlorien for your casters or something?
Oh, Venomback spiders. If your so I'm just reading the Legendary Legion now. If your force contains Ashrak, then all giant spiders in your force can be upgraded to Venomback spiders for free. Friendly models may reroll any number of d6 when making a casting roll.
Yeah, he's
The
probably
issue is you take Durbas over him, don't you?
not in the Legion. Well, you mean Drazag, don't you?
Sorry, Drozak, yeah.
I think maybe in the Legion he's a little bit better than average.
I think he's still average. I'm going to put him middling
Let's
average.
let's leave him there. I'm sure people do take him, and he does well in the Assault because everything does well in the Assault.
It's really good.
Ugluk. Ugluk's cool.
Boy. I think he's strong.
I think he's a solid boy.
He's a solid boy. Strike. He's one of basically 2 captains in Isengard that isn't Gorulf that can take Strike. So, yeah, and the head taker thing is actually pretty clutch a lot of the time. You know, you're already not taking tests until you're at a 3rd, but that doesn't include orcs. So if you do have a lot of orcs, you can expend them to keep them all there. And even if you don't have orcs, even when you're at a 3rd eventually, you can then keep everyone there and strike. And he's fairly cheap, 3 might. You know, he's an Urukhan captain, so he's got all the damage output you'd expect. Fight 5, strength 5, 2 attacks. Yeah,
March is nice.
March, yeah. So yeah, I'd say pretty solid, like higher side of solid.
Yeah, definitely above the blog.
Yeah.
Sharky. Pretty good in his Legion at very small points.
Yeah.
I've also seen him used quite well just in Vanilla Isengard. So
you quite like Sharky and Vanilla Isengard, don't you?
Yeah, I think the knockdown is nice. Obviously, your strength 4 instead of 5, but you still got 3 mites. I think he has strike. I could be wrong about that.
He's only got March.
Yeah, he's got a weird little rule, which is fine. But it's mainly the fact that he's one of 2 melee Isengard heroes that you can put on a Warg, and he's the only like flat vanilla Isengard hero you can put on a Warg that's not Thriden, or on a mount that's not Thriden.
And Saruman, who always gets forgotten, but yeah,
yes. Well, I said melee, but yes,
he's not a melee character. Yeah,
I wouldn't say so, but yeah, no, he's nice. So I would say.
And Grima, actually, I just want to put it out there. Grima can go on a horse.
I agree. Not a melee hero.
The combat Chad that is Grima.
Not they made a model for it.
I would say just below Uglug, just because Uglug's rule feels a bit more useful.
Sure. Vrasky.
I'm going to let you two say your pieces on these 2 Isengard heroes coming up as well, because I know I've basically just dedicated my life to Isengard, but it's going to be boring if it's just me talking.
Slightly extreme.
Your entire life, the only thing that you dedicated it to. He has a white hand tattoo.
A lot of Isengard. I've got a white hand on my gaming.
You don't want to know where the tattoo is. Vrasky, he's good. I always have personally found it weird that they gave an Isengard guy who's dressed up as one of the scouts a crossbow. That's just
it's a prototype.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean he's probably in solid as well.
I think, like, in terms of his shooting, if you can get him in a position to shoot, like he can put out so much damage. Like, he's a 3+ shoot, and obviously, like, I think there's this weird thing that happens with crossbows is that you perceive them as being better than they are because they're only shooting when they haven't moved, which obviously means the shoot value is better than, you know, a model that's moved half and then shot. So, like, when a crossbow is shooting, it feels like it's doing more damage than a bow, which I think leads people to believe crossbows are maybe a bit better than they are. But, like, Vrasky's really scary, and, like, he's very likely to hit with both shots, and he's got March, and even when he gets into combat, like, he is still an Isengard captain. He doesn't have strike. That's not the end of the world. I think he's really good. I think he's better than Ugluk, to be honest. But I'm willing to be moved on that.
I think they're pretty on the level. I would say he's as good. I wouldn't be disappointed if he was higher than Ugluk. I think while he, his special allows him to shoot twice, and like you said, he's still really solid in combat. Like he's the same as Ugluk in combat, bar the strike. Yeah. And actually, I find, especially when I was a newer player, having Vrasku and feeling like I needed to get value from his shooting meant that he waded into combat at the end, and suddenly I had 3 might points to spend that came out of nowhere, which really helps clutch games at the end. Eventually, obviously, I learned that you don't have to keep your crossbows back just because you want to make use of the shooting. Your crossbows probably only account for 10 to 15 points in your whole army, so it's not a big deal if they don't get used. And he gives you that versatility, that fear factor. He can outshoot a lot of enemy heroes. I think
he's especially good if you lose priority early on, because you can react to what your opponent does, and your opponent isn't going to want to move. Because also normally, if Frascu's there, there'll be a couple of other guys with crossbows too, and suddenly, you don't want to be going into 5 or 6 crossbow shots with any amount of guys. So it can create some interesting mind games early on. So yeah, I think he's really good.
Yep.
I'll put him above Ugluk then.
Okay.
Thryden, Wolfboy.
Wolfsbane. 2-handed axe, sword, mighty blow, 3 might, striking, fight 5, strength 4. So, and he can get a horse, but he's
strength 5.
Strength 5 is he? He's a fair amount more expensive than the other Isengard Fortitude heroes. So, I used him a couple times. I've seen a lot of people use him. Being mounted is very useful. I'd say overall, potentially he's probably floating around the other Isengard heroes maybe a bit better. What do you guys think?
I mean, this is kind of Isengard to a T, isn't it? There's just loads of really solid hero. We've put them all next to each other as far as I can tell. None of them are exceptional, none of them are shit. They all kind of have their uses. And I'd again say I personally think Thryden's slightly overcosted. I think he could be 80. So maybe he's at the lower end, but he's still really solid. And yeah, anything that's fight 5, strength 5 is going to be pretty decent.
Thryden for me, and I've played him about 3 times, and 2 of those times were quite a while ago, and they've all been against Mayor. I've always found him a little underwhelming. He's the sort of person who I think sounds really good in theory, but I personally haven't seen what everyone seems to rave on about with him.
Yeah, I think maybe because he's also maybe a slightly bigger target than the other heroes. He's mounted, so he's always going to get shot first, and maybe that's why he seems to end up not doing as much as people think, because he's a bigger target.
Yeah, possibly. Should I just shove him solid?
Yeah, at the lower end compared to the others. Yeah. We've missed Mauher off the list. I've just noticed.
My boy. You know what? Just thinking about all the great times I've had with Mauher, the when we used to play back in the day, and him having 3 attacks with fight 5.
So obnoxious.
This might have even been the era when we were playing the rules wrong, but I think it was probably after that.
No, Mauher was after that.
It was after, wasn't it? And
that was quite a long era.
I just remember him just destroying everyone he ran into.
He's really not that good.
No, but it's somehow the 3 attacks just makes it so consistent.
He's good in scout. He's in scouts, isn't he? Alerts his scout.
Yeah.
You take him for 8-inch move.
Yeah. The 8-inch move is really nice.
He's good for that, and if we'd remembered to put him on, he probably would be up in fantastic. I think the 8-inch move in the Legions with the 3 just edges it out over the others.
Yeah. I mean, even in Ugluk Scouts, you're obviously you have to take Ugluk, but you're 100% taking Mauher.
Because the Legion doesn't really make sense if you don't. So,
no. So yeah, I'd agree. Low fantastic maybe for Malher. Weirdly, I'd say in vanilla he's not. You really want the extra might in the strike, and he doesn't have either of those. So in vanilla he's a no. In Uglugs he's like yes please, and Lurtz is obviously.
It's Golfing Ball. He's straight into legendary, obviously.
Just because he's Chad.
He's immortal. the guy immortal. Physically can't be killed, and for that reason, top of legendary.
Didn't he get decapitated?
Yeah, his head.
The rumors about his fate have been dramatically
his demise.
Somehow he returned.
He's not actually good, like,
no.
But he is something interesting for Angmar, and it's good that he exists, but he's not very competitive.
I'm putting him very bottom of average. I think he's slightly better than Whiff.
Yeah, but
not much.
He's 0 fate. He's 2 might 0 fate, isn't he, or something?
Yeah, but he has a rule, doesn't he, where on like a 5-up he ignores the wounds, which is over the course of a game. Does that work out slightly better than being a 1 fate hero? I don't know.
Depends.
I guess it depends how well you roll.
Yeah, and if you save your might for it, maybe because it's a bit like with Thrall's ring. Like if you save it, it suddenly becomes loads better because you can get so many more uses out of it.
Yeah, when's the Golfing Ball Legendary Legion coming out? That was a missed opportunity in Scouring.
It was.
That Golfing Ball Legendary Legion where he gets like Mighty Hero or something.
Yeah. The save is on a 2+.
Yeah, the save is on a 1+. He can't die.
I still don't know if he'd actually be that good.
He can only be killed if somebody has a club. That's the only weapon that can damage him. But if they wound, he instantly dies.
Perfect.
Lotho is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when you read his stats, you think, I could think of a scenario where maybe this would be useful in a very specific case that will elaborately win me the game. But I think functionally he's actually shit, and he's in a shit list.
Overall as a hero,
he's down in Whiff, but I will say that he's better than Snagger. He has various rules where he can like prevent somebody from charging and stuff with his will points.
Yeah. But also, like, so what if they don't charge you? Like, you're not going to do anything. Like, I think that's an underwhelming. I think
he can up if he's put in the Shire army. He can up their, I want to say, fight value, maybe.
Or it might
it's one of them.
Yeah.
You can tell that I didn't bother bringing my Scouring book down with me. I think the issue of putting him in a Shire army is that you can't take him in the Legendary Legion.
Yeah.
So, are you going to run plain Shire just so you can take Lotho? Well, the only reason you run plain Shire is so you can take Gandalf. And at that point, it's like, would I rather just take the Rangers or Lotho? Probably the Rangers.
Yes, I would say
it's an easy choice, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely the Rangers.
So there you go. It's one of the ruffians.
Rowan Thistlewood. Yeah.
But you'll have to lead us on these ones, I think.
I don't own the book. You two own the book, so I'm not quite sure.
You're the only one who's played the character.
You've played them a lot. To be fair, you've only played them against hobbits, which would very much.
In which case, surprisingly good.
I think we can just shove all of the characters from that book into Whiff.
Yeah. I think Bill Fernie deserves to be even lower because he is so garbage. Like,
he performed so well.
When you're rolling hot with him, he's
that's because like he had with any normal person rolling dice, absolutely not. But with me, somehow he became just like the Terminator. But no,
Ted Sandyman.
They're all
moving on, just because I can't be bothered really to talk about the ruffians.
Is
Ted Sandyman better or worse than Snagger? Is a really cheap hero that allows you to bring Hobbit Militia in the Ruffians better than Snagger.
He's better just because he's cheap. Like, that's the only reason. Like,
but everything's cheap in Ruffians. That's the thing.
No, but I'm comparing him to Snagger. Like, Snagger is
like
40, 45 points or something, might be 50. Like,
he's like 50.
That's not good.
Ted Sandyman, the miniature, has a very interesting wart on his face.
Yeah, it's very prominent.
I'm unsure. I'm unsure about that, like, evil hobbit must be disfigured kind of
trope.
Concept. Yeah. Harry Goatsleaf
in Ruffians.
In Ruffians might legitimately be a little bit better than the others in Ruffians.
He's at the top of Whip. There we go. He's above all the others. He's still shit.
Right.
But still shit.
Boy.
Here we go. Right.
Straight into Legendary.
I'm not sure about that.
Controversial take. Controversial take. Gorolf is just Merher, but slightly tougher.
Well, first of all,
here we go.
Right.
First of all, you're right.
No, however, the two downsides of Malher, what are
they? 2 might and no strike.
And what does Gorolf have?
3 might and strike. But he's
Correct
also
answer. Ding 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 ding.
He's significantly more expensive, isn't he? He's like 70.
I think he's more than that.
75. Like that's a chunk.
I'd
more.
I'd pay that. His special rule is so good.
But only if he's fighting heroes.
Here's the problem. It's only when he's fighting heroes. But if you're saying that he's useful because he has a heroic strike, when are you using the defense?
I've used the defense on him more than I have the strike.
Okay, but at which point I don't see how he's better than Merher because you're not using.
Because you can throw him at things like the Mumuk War Leader and just defense every turn, or you can throw him against all the big scary heroes and more or less rely on him surviving. The defense thing I see more as a utility, and I see the paying 15 points more as I'm getting my buff Merher essentially.
What defense is he?
5.
Yeah, he's getting shot.
He's the same as Merher though.
Yeah, but no one's going to expend all their shooting on Merher whilst everyone's going to.
And I'd say the other thing about Merher is he doesn't need to generate value himself.
Yeah, well, he's already covered his fat. The still shoot.
Oh,
you're breaking up quite a lot, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure you were making a very good point, but
I was saying that
so it didn't happen. No, moving on.
Well, yeah, Merher's already paid for his cost because you're moving 4 inches a turn and shooting. Like he doesn't need to do anything. He's already done it.
I still think he's much better than the other Isengard heroes, and I think
I put him in fantastic. He's better. I'll put him in fantastic, but I don't think he's legendary.
He's fine.
Yeah, and I think in the right situation, he could be so frustrating to deal with as like a big hero or something. Like it would be pretty infuriating.
Yeah, but, I just think that anyone who actually knows his rules won't have a problem with him as much because I think you can play around him.
The other nice thing about him is he has axes, and him lowering his defense from the axes against a hero doesn't matter.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm saying upper end of fantastic for me, like up by Druzhag.
I'll put him above Kardash and what's his face. That's fair.
Yeah.
Is it Freya or Freda? One of those two. Freda Tall Spear.
Yeah, because she's got a tall spear.
She's average, I think.
She's got some situational use against cavalry. She's, I feel like she has something which Dunland doesn't have. I think it's that she's like the highest defense in Dunland, isn't it? Something that.
She might be D6 because it looks like she has a shield on her model. I've never used her. So I'm just throwing that out there. But...
So I mean, potentially in the Dunland Legendary Legion, useful to have like the hero that you're going to protect just because she's slightly higher defense in certain scenarios.
And she can fight in the back rank as well because she's got a spear. She doesn't have to be up there. But I don't know. I think she just maybe like middling of average.
I'd say top of average looking at who else we've got in there.
I don't think she's better than Uglug and Vrasku. Oh no, sorry. That's solid, isn't it? Yeah.
Anywhere on average is fine.
I'm going to put her at the top. I think she's definitely better than Golf.
Ball and Asherak. Yeah.
The Oathmaker, actually, really good. I like the Oathmaker.
I think he's probably somewhere in solid.
Just fucking bring a shitload of wild men with 200 axes, and you don't care if they die, and they'll put in a bit of work.
I think quite a few lists have done really well with him, actually. Just getting that cheap chaff.
I've seen
not like really well, but like people have definitely used him.
It looks good on paper. Every time I see it in person, it does shit. Because they're just so crap that like they just. I mean, they're basically goblins. Like they're just without the rule. Like they're just.
They're fearless goblins. So like I think as utility for charging a terror cause.
Yeah, but that's why you take berserkers, and then they're actually good in other situations. So
then berserkers are more than double the cost.
A lot of points.
But I mean,
this guy has some popularity from the little I know. But I think like in the US, where it's a lot more common for terror to be a problem, that they're a bit more popular. It might be just that in the UK you don't see them as often because people play the Dragon Emperor in the UK.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm going to put him solid.
Yeah,
he's around Sharky. We'll leave it at that.
I'd put him below Sharky, but I think.
Oh fuck!
He's below all the other Isengard heroes.
Okay, yeah. I'll put him below. Sharky. It's one of the Hunter Orcs, the one that's marginally more of a main character.
No.
Oh, marginally less of a main character.
Come on, you saw those films. He is Fimble the Hunter, and I think he's probably one of the best value heroes in the game. Question mark.
I feel like Fimble is one of the main characters in the film.
No, that's Yazneg.
My mistake.
Obviously.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah, he's very good, and any tournament which is like really small points, these guys just like clean house.
Yeah. Why is he fight 5? Why is he fight 5? And why does he not suffer any penalties for moving through difficult terrain? Like, that is fucking stupid. And he's 3 might with strike and a fell log.
I think for Heroes of Fortitude, in terms of just like a value position, go at the bottom of Legendary.
Yeah, he's a scary dude.
Bow sword guy. Can I just say, this wouldn't work.
No, it's true, isn't it? How are you shooting? you throw the sword really high in the air and then catch it again.
How would you string the sword and then it wouldn't have any flex, so your arrow would just plop out in front of you?
No, you hold the sword and then you throw the arrow.
It's such a fucking... This is like a Warhammer weapon in Lord of the Rings, and I hate it. But anyway, guy with sword bow. What a OT talk me through, because I've never seen him.
Fight 4, strength 4, D5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, 3/1/1. Sword and an orc bow, so he does have a bow.
That's 3 might. Why does this prick have 3 might?
Because he was a major character. Probably. So they've got Morgul arrows, which I think is some kind of poison shit. The Hobbit is fucking garbage.
Isn't Morgul arrows the one which are like the same as a Morgul blade?
Any model that suffers a wound from model with a special rule shooting attack isn't slain. Roll a d6 at the start of each subsequent turn. On a roll of 1, that suffers a wound.
Jesus Christ! Why is it unnecessarily good?
So they basically random.
Just shoot at a hero.
Yeah, he gets lethal aim, so he can spend a single point of might each turn without reducing his store, and he has 3 already to modify to hit in the way or to wound.
Oh my god, he's really good at like getting rid of shit heroes.
Yeah.
If you hit them with 2 arrows, do you have to roll twice a turn?
I really hope not.
I'd assume not.
I imagine that's been FAQ'd, right?
Any model that suffers a wound, so I'm assuming it doesn't multiply. But you know, it might. Who fucking cares?
It sounds kind of not awful, actually.
I think he's
okay.
Yeah. I think maybe alongside Frascu, kind of in that Urukai captain area.
He's sort of solid, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm not going to put him as high as a lot of the... I'm going to put him underneath the Isengard heroes in solid. I don't know. If you're just like... Because it's just as long as he hits, right? You don't roll to wound.
Oh, so it has to deal a wound.
Oh, it has to... Okay, that's not as good then.
So if it's wounded and isn't slain, it then
Right. Okay, that's significantly less good. I thought it was just like hit. I was just thinking first turn, you just spent all your might to hit Aragorn, and then you just over the course of the next like 14 turns, you're probably going to get lucky a couple of times.
Yeah.
But if you have to wound, that's not good. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So this is main character Orc. Yazneg.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He has really puffy sleeves.
Yeah. So the only difference with him versus Fimble, he has strike 3 might. He's only fight 4. He comes with a lance. So for 60 points, he'd be Felwarg Lance. And yeah, he doesn't get all the cool shit that Fimble gets with the Huntmaster and things like that. And he doesn't get a bow, which Fimble gets.
Are you sure Fimble isn't the main character? Because he's high fight.
No, it's all relative. I'm fairly sure Yazneg is the main character. Because Yazneg is the one at the front of the section and Fimble's the one at the end.
He's not as good as Fimble, though, is he?
No, he's significantly worse.
Probably. Is he bottom fantastic just because he has a lance and a white for 60 points?
I was going to put him alongside the other captains, to be honest. I think he's kind of in that category.
You reckon he's top of solid?
Yeah, I'd say like upper to middle solid. But then also he's competing in quite a difficult, like against other really solid heroes. Like if you got a choice between like at low points between Fimble and Yazneg, I don't see why you'd ever take him.
Yeah, that's true. It's not Bolg, it's the Dungeon Keeper.
The Keeper of the Dungeons, yes. Do you want me to read out his stats?
Definitely not Bolg. Yeah, go on.
Fight 5, Strength 5, D6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, Courage 5, 330. Armor, Sword, 200 pick, Strike, Strength Challenge, Burly, and so he gets a bit like a watered down version of Bolg's like thing where he builds over time. So each time he's
Bolg.
No.
He's definitely not. Sorry, legally distinct.
Legally distinct. How fucking dare you? The first, so every time he slays a model, keep a note of how many. After he's killed, if he's killed 1 or more, he may reroll to wound rolls of 1, which is really good when you're Strength 5 Burly. If he's killed 3 or more, he causes terror. Once he's killed 5 or more, he rerolls all failed to wound rolls. And he gets +1 to wound against any model that bears one of the 3 Elven rings.
Isn't the issue though that I mean, no one, I never see him taken, so I'm just going to assume he's not that good.
He killed Glorfindel because I was an idiot and I charged into him after he struck, and then he just did 3 wounds straight through and had already taken a wound because I was an idiot. But yeah, I don't think he's very good, and I think that 0 fate and 2 wounds is a bit crushing.
You can take him in the Legendary Legion, right?
Yeah, the Pits of Dol Guldur, yeah, but I don't think anybody really brings that.
I meant the other one, the one where the Ringwraiths respawn.
Yeah, is that?
But again, no one takes him in it.
No, I guess you don't take him in that one because the whole point in that one is you just respawn Wraiths, and he actually is somebody who can die. He doesn't sound dreadful.
No,
I think he's a bottom from a second from bottom tier, whatever that's called.
Yeah. Average.
An average, you think?
Yeah. He's just too flimsy.
No one takes him.
I'm going to put him at the top of average. Yeah, I know. It's just compared to all these other Fortitude heroes, he sounds decent.
I mean, in terms of like damage dealing, he can put in like a lot of work, but like there is just a risk he gets charged by like a Cav model and dies. Like that is definitely something that could happen.
Yeah. The little goblin dude that has a name.
Grinner.
That's
Grinner.
the one. He's quite good, isn't he?
He's pretty good. I think he's going to have to go in Legendary.
Gee. Are we just going to put all of the Goblin heroes in Legendary? It does feel like that's going to happen.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think he's he's maybe top of Fantastic. I don't know. Like
he's an auto include because of the 3
He has a lot of shenanigans.
He's got Strike, and he's got the shenanigans with swapping with the Goblin King, and he's extremely cheap. And he's he's Fortitude, obviously. I think he's easy Legendary.
There's a rule for Goblin heroes, which I'm putting in place now, which is they're allowed to go legendary, but it has to be the bottom.
Yeah.
Tom, he's...
No, it's Bert, isn't it?
I thought this was Tom. Come on, I know my trolls.
You put Bert on the list, but I put Tom in.
Shit. He's not for... He is Valor, then.
Yeah, Bert. This should be Bert.
How do you not know the difference? They're very clearly different individuals.
Why are Bill and Tom Valor and Bert is Fortitude?
I assume so that you can ally them with people.
Right, and Bert would be too powerful if he was.
So it's not Tom, so it's not Sneezer, it's Fireburner, and he's very meh. He's still a troll, so he's probably still making solid just because he's a troll. But other than that, he has not much going for him.
And no strike is a bit rough.
Yeah, but he is base fight 7, so you know.
Yeah.
I'll put him at the bottom of solid, which he gets because he's a monster with might, and monsters with might can do stuff. But yeah, the Master of Reserves.
You're it.
That's the one. Look at me and my orc knowledge. He has one of those rules for turning up, right? Or no? Does he?
He always turns up.
Is he the one who stops your opponent from turning up?
No.
Which one's that?
I think that's one you fucking made up. I don't think that exists.
Probably.
Do you want me to read him out, or do you want to keep guessing? Because we could be here all night.
Let's just keep guessing. Okay. I'm going to guess that he can manipulate his result by +1 or -1 on the table, because that's all of their rules are always the same thing.
Yeah. Where you roll for additional forces to arrive, you may modify the reinforcements roll for Guritz's warband +/-1. If he's already on the board, then all warbands in your army may also modify their reinforcements roll by +/-1.
Kind of useful.
March 3 might, strength 5, d6, 2 attacks, fight 4, 60 points. Quite nice.
He's better than Grishnak, who we've put at the bottom of solid, right?
Yeah.
He's got more utility.
I think he's alongside maybe Grublog. Like, I think just as a utility, he's fine.
And he's got a cool hat too.
Yeah, he'll do some work in combat. 'Cause he's strength 5 with 200 weapon if you want it. Like, it's all good.
The Gothmog's Enforcer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you want me to read it out, or do you want to guess?
Guess.
Yeah,
I want him to guess. Let's start with fight value.
We should.
I think his fight. I think
this section.
Okay. Here we go. I think I don't own this book. I just want to point out to viewers. I think he's fight 4.
Right.
I think he's strength 4. I think he's D6. I think he's 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4. I think he's
courage 3. But yeah.
Have I been right up until that point though?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought you were waiting till the end to tell me I was wrong.
It's almost like these characters are predictable.
I'm going to say 2-1-1 Might Will Fate.
Not even close. 1-3-1.
1-3-3. He must have a special rules to do will points then.
How dare you, sir? Are you suggesting GW just rehashes the same old shit over and over again?
The only time you ever get above 2 will as a regular schmuck is if you've got a special rule for them. Yeah. He must have some sort of bullshit about either protecting Gothmog or making orcs do something around him.
Okay.
If he's an enforcer, that's my guess.
So, he has heroic defense. Again, whatever. If his special rule is if Gothmog's enforcer is within 3 inches of Gothmog at the start of a turn, Gothmog may spend one of the enforcer's will points to clear a heroic move instead of spending one of his own might points.
Ooh. So he's better. What's his face? He's better Folko Boffin.
That is often how I hear Gothmog's enforcer described.
What
I will say, I think it has less value on Gothmog because Gothmog has Master of Battle.
Yeah. And also, you're probably putting on a warg, so you're probably zipping off and leaving this fucker behind.
Also, this fucker is 60 points.
Oh no, maybe he isn't Motherfucker.
I think it's a big old whiff.
He would win 3 Folko Boffins or God. What's that?
I've put him like middling whiff.
I think he's better than the Ruffian Heroes. Come on,
because he might occasionally kill something.
He can do something in game.
Yeah.
Snazzer.
No.
Who is that? I've never.
Do I have to just keep guessing the name
now?
Guess. Gricknack.
Okay. It begins. No, that's just Grishnak without the S. They're not that lazy.
Gruzak.
An Aru man.
Filthy maggot.
Okay, it's Zagdush, Orc Captain.
Oh, of course.
Would you guess? He's also 60 points. Do you remember when he did that thing?
He's my favourite character in the entire film series.
Yeah. So he's fight 4, strength 4, D5, 3 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, 3/1/1.
Okay.
He's got strike and strength, and he's got reckless fight. At the start of a fight, before any dice are rolled, he may choose to decrease his defense by 1 and increase his strength by 1. That's till the end of the fight.
So shit, piercing strike. That is just piercing strike. What?
But
slightly better piercing strike.
You always decrease defense by 1, so yeah, it's better piercing strike.
Better piercing strike. Not exactly the most inspirational special ever. How many points is he again?
60.
Jesus Christ.
Average,
yeah.
You could have at least given him +1 to wound for minusing his defense, so it actually is better than piercing strike.
Yeah.
Surely he's down with the enforcer.
No, he's a bit better because he at least has 3 attacks and 3 might. So
I'm putting him below. I'm putting him below Golf and Black Spite. Okay. Yaznek.
No.
Yashrak.
No. Sashrak.
Sashrak.
No. He's Goroth, captain of Morannon.
Oh, sorry.
He's 80 points, so they just change 1 number. He is fight 5, strength 5, D6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage, 3/1/1. He's heavy armor and 2-handed mace with strike. He's got burly, and his special rule is "Come here, maggot."
Why did you say that so politely? Come here, maggot. Good
Please
sir.
Come here, maggot.
That's how I imagine him saying it. He's very worried about workplace.
I say, you. Would you mind coming over here, maggot?
Okay.
Right,
do you care about the rule, or should I leave it there?
Yeah, I care.
Each time Goroth suffers a wound that may cause him to be slain after fate points have been spent, he may roll a d6. On a 2+, you win the game. No, on a 2+.
Fuck's sake.
On a 2+, he saves the wound, but an orc dies.
He may select a friendly Mordor orc model within 1 inch and thrust it into harm's way instead of himself. The selected model will suffer the wound instead of Goroth.
I say, maggot, would you mind taking this? Awfully good of you, dear chap.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that is kind of useful. It's a shame it's not on a better hero.
I mean, he is strength 5, 3 might with
He's got burly, actually.
He's got burly, like he can do some damage.
It's just as soon as he runs into a hero, I guess it's just shoving orcs in front of him desperately.
I mean, the problem is, like, I think all of these like Mordor Fortitude heroes are just good at killing chaff, and they can't actually do anything against like bigger heroes. I think he's got a better chance than most because he is fight 5 with strike. So like, yeah, maybe like middling of solid next to all the other Uruk-hai.
I'm starting to think that we rated Gorbag way too highly.
Gorbag?
We put him in fantastic, and we're shoving all of the rest of these schmucks. How many points is Gorbag?
50. Oh no, 60 with a shield.
I think knocking down a peg.
I think he needs to come down below the Isengard heroes.
He is like 5, I will say, with strike. But yeah, I think maybe we did overrate him.
So two-handed guy is going about the same place as him, is it? As Gorbag is now. Is he better than Groblog? Probably not. Let's put him with Master of Reserves.
Yeah, I think yeah.
It's Raza, Spear of Harrod.
Fang of the Serpent, but yeah,
so
essentially.
So close.
Yeah.
Some people really like him, some people really don't. He's very Marmite.
Sure. Do you want me to read out his rules, or do we not really care?
He has some nonsense.
I don't care
about wounding or something, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's fight 4, strength 4, d5, 3 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 5, 3-1-1, armor and a spear. He's got strike and challenge. Bane of Kings, Swarm Protector Soladan. At the start of the game, secretly select one hero in your opponent's force to be Raza's target. Write it down. At the start of a fight where Raza is engaged with the target, his fight value increases by 2 for the duration of that fight, so he goes to fight 6.
Yeah, he's probably about as good as the Uruk captains that we've been talking about.
He is 75 points, so he's a little bit more expensive.
People do definitely take him though, so
yeah, it's the 3 attacks, and like if you can get to that hero being fight 6, like actually against a lot. If you look at a lot of heroes in this list, for instance, it would force a lot of them to strike, for instance, to like compete with him on fight value. So, and with that 3 attacks, and you're probably getting a banner from Suladan and things like that, like he could actually be really good. So, I think maybe he sneaks into Fantastic, but otherwise, kind of
I think if Gorolf was made into Fantastic, it's fair to put Raza into.
I think Gorolf is better than Raza, but yeah.
Yeah, but we're putting him at the bottom and Gorolf is towards the top. Brugger, the shaman.
Yep.
I feel like Brogir is good because of what you think he's going to do rather than what he actually does.
I've seen him do really well. It won a tournament in Cardiff, just him and whatever the female...
Ratabi.
Yeah, those two won a tournament, and I played against it as well, and it was horrific. So
I've seen him do fuck all and die. Swings and roundabouts, I guess.
I mean, like he's 80 points. He's got 2 might, 5 will, and 2 fate. And like he can regain will. So when he re-rolls a natural 6, you regain that will. And on average, he'll probably get that off like maybe once or twice a game. And like he's got Blade Wrath, Fury, Enchanted Blades, and like Tremor. And even though Tremor is on a 5, like it can be really, really powerful if you use it right. So I think he's in this company. I think he's definitely in Fantastic.
I'll put him with Kardash.
Yep, I think they're similar models, but maybe Brogue is a bit more solid.
Although Tierlist has just put him at the bottom for some reason.
Yeah, well,
come on, there we go. And then finally, we've got Zagrat.
No.
I don't know. I can't remember them all. He begins with an M?
Yep, very good.
Merzag?
Not bad. Merzger.
Oh, so close. So close.
Right, you're actually pretty close. That was pretty impressive.
So close. They all sound the same, don't they?
I'm not sure you can say that.
Fuck's sake.
So, 70 points. Hero Fortitude. Fight 4, strength 4, d5. 2 attacks.
Why are you laughing at him?
Because they're all heroes of fortitude.
I know, it was a joke. Fuck me. How are we going to do the good heroes? There are like twice as many. And they're all in Forest. They're all in Forest company.
Okay, yeah, keep going. Come on.
Fight 4, strength 4, d5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, 2-4-1. Armor, dagger, spear, channeling, defense. Whenever Merzger slays an enemy model in combat, he immediately regains a single point of will spent earlier in the battle. Drain courage on a 2, wither on a 3, transfix on a 4.
I mean, no one took him until... Or is he the one you did take? No, he is good, yeah. He's the one that everyone takes. So I'd say he is maybe even in Fantastic.
So what context are we taking him in?
The Assault on
Legion.
He's not in Assault, I don't think.
He's in the.
Those are bold words, sir.
Oh no,
think he is-
is this the one that is in Assault?
He is in Assault, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
it's the
one that everyone
Alpha
takes.
Prick. It's the one with the mace who isn't it?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
guy that no one seems to take very much. This guy's pretty good. Yeah, I'd say he's really good. He's got a really annoying spell. I can't remember what it does.
Wither.
Yeah.
You reduce someone's strength permanently.
Yeah. So you can get someone down to like strength 1 or something, and like suddenly they're needing like, even against your Orc Warriors, they'd need like 5s and 6s.
You could channel to make a D3 reduce strength, which is a bit of a gamble because you might just roll a 1 and then you've wasted your fate might point. But I mean, potentially quite clutch.
Yeah.
Boromir down to strength 1, for example.
Yeah. Because I don't think there's any way to regain strength either, is there? Like, so you'd just be pretty screwed.
And it's not exhaustion, so killing him doesn't stop it from being in the game either.
The fact that he's in Assault on Lothlorien, and that was as good as it was and still continues to be, like, I reckon at least in Fantastic.
Might be legendary just because he's in Assault.
I think he's maybe a low legend.
Next to the Goblin fucker.
The Goblin fucker. Well, there we have it. An extremely detailed, in-depth look. Feel free to tell us why we're wrong, because I imagine we are with quite a lot of these. And
also, who else did we miss? You know, did we miss any Heroes of Fortune?
Christ. And why should Golfing Ball be legendary? That leaves us with only one to do, which is to pause the recording. And then to talk about news, of which there is none. So are we bothering? Oh shit! There is actually news, isn't there? Yeah. Let's throw in our 2 cents about the FAQ, which everyone's already spoken about.
Jesus.
Some people even managed to get like a 50-minute video out. What is essentially not really anything. Dragon Emperor was increased. He's now 200 points. Yeah, that's fair. Lots of people.
I'd like to say, I called this. I said he was OP, and I got a bit of shit for it, and I was right. I just need to say that for my own.
I don't think you got that much shit for it. I think you got a few people saying.
I know people in the comments saying I was wrong and I was an idiot, and only one of those is correct.
I think the problem with the Dragon Emperor is if you were very, very knowledgeable and knew what you were doing with list building and gameplay, he was fine. And then I think everyone beneath that level was like, oh my god, obnoxious. Everyone's within his banner range. I think, and this is going to be a really weird comparison, but I'm going to make it anyway. I think here we go.
The problem with the Dragon Emperor was similar to the problem with Assault on Helm's Deep, in that.
Yeah, you're right. It is weird.
And the bits that made the army strong were too consistent, and so it felt very oppressive to play against. It made the Easterling battle line too strong with the banner and the +1 fight. And it was the same thing with the Listers. They were too strong, they hit too consistently, and it made it really hard for you to actually deal with. That's why I think it was a problem.
Whilst we're on the topic, what do you think of the main complaint, which is that some people seem to be annoyed that they didn't nerf the Legion, they nerfed him? Thoughts on that? I think it was fair nerfing him rather than the Legion.
I mean, the thing is, like, if you're bringing him, I think you're virtually always bringing him in the Legion. And what this also does is it means, like, any obnoxious alliance shenanigans, like, you know, chucking him in with Mordor or something, like, that gets nerfed as well. So I think this is a better way round to do it. So yeah, I'm fine with it. Like, yeah, just makes it more balanced. And I think him at 200 points is still absolutely fine. I think it's solid.
Most people have been pointing out it's the equivalent of 3 warriors, which isn't actually a massive difference. Yeah. It's like at high points, especially, you're laughing. It's just like, great, you haven't really done anything.
It means at lower points it might be that bit easier to deal with him. And I think that might actually be where it felt most bad to play against, because it's it's a lot. It's a lot to get through, and like if you can't get through the battle line, it does just, I imagine, feel pretty sad.
Yeah. Other things they did, they confirmed the way you split fights was the way that everyone did it anyway. I guess it's good that you've got that confirmation because the rules apparently weren't clear enough. And they clarified some stuff for Ents. Hooray!
Yeah, for the 3 people who still use Ents. I mean, also
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I was about to say, fair play. Like, I think Ents could do with a little bit of a buff, like make Ent Warriors better or something. Like,
give them might.
No.
Give them all 3 might GW cowards.
What, are you afraid? Think it'll ruin the game?
Yeah, good for Ents. I wonder who the person was that was emailing in being like, can you clarify this question about Ents for me, please?
Are you sure it wasn't you?
Yeah, I'd like to exclusively reveal now that it was me. You're welcome, guys.
Yeah.
No need to thank me.
Has anything else happened?
No, not really.
I mean, I don't know if there's been any Shatterpoint stuff, but like if there has been any of the pre-orders that have come out, like I don't know if they have, like Geonosians and stuff for Legion. Most people have now got their pre-orders, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, I don't think there's anything new for Legion or anything like that.
Wow. There we go then.
40k kill team. Has anything else happened?
Yeah, I mean, if we really want to, there's been, I think, at least 2 Space Marine, and I'm not even joking, 2 Space Marine releases since the last episode.
Great.
So if you want your Space Marines, you're really set as always. I don't know about anything else.
No. Oh well, that'll do.
That'll do, won't it? That'll do.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, as always, everyone. Leave a like, leave a comment telling us why we're wrong. We really appreciate them. Just the ones telling us we're wrong, though. Don't
explain why. Don't say which bit we're wrong on. Just say you're wrong, and then.
If you're one of the nice people who just leaves a comment saying that you enjoyed it, we're not really looking for that. We're only really looking for criticism. Like we appreciate the thought, but could you just tell us why we're wrong? Thank you. You've been listening to me, Onod and Mayor.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
And OT.
Yep.
Goodbye, everyone.